very much, Mr. Chairman. Gavin Robinson very disparagingly on Talkback said there's no need for you people to be here tonight. And he certainly was very upset that people would come from England. Well, I'm delighted to share this platform with our fellow countrymen and countrywomen from the rest of the United States. And I was quite appalled that in that same programme, Gavin Robinson abused and attacked some of those who have stood the strongest for Northern Ireland, particularly Ben Habib. And even stooped so low as to attack the integrity of Baroness Kate Hoey. Big gav, big gav. Just think of it. To say of Ben Habib, the man who stood when so many ran away, the man who put his money where his mouth was, the man who funded to tens of thousands of pounds the protocol challenge in the Supreme Court. And the man, I'm sure he's regretted it since, who gave £30,000 to the DUP. Gavin, if he's such an ogre, give the man back his money. And then Gavin told us how he had voted against the protocol. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not how you start on the protocol, it's how you finish on it. And whereas Ben Habib, Anne Widdecombe, Kate Hoey continue to stand firm, where is the DUP tonight on the protocol? Sadly, tragically, they have sold out on the very issues that 2 years ago brought them onto this platform. And that without one word of the protocol being removed. That without one syllable of EU law being disapplied. What was it that brought us to Dromore 2 years ago? It was the fact that our country had been partitioned by a pernicious foreign border down the Irish Sea. It was the fact that Northern Ireland alone within the United Kingdom was now substantially ruled by foreign EU laws. Has any of that changed? No. The only thing that's changed is that Gavin and his gang are now no longer protocol opponents, but are now protocol implementers. What does that mean? That means that they are accepting of the Irish Sea border. Because you cannot be a minister in Stormont without accepting the protocol. You take a pledge of office which includes that commitment to enforce the law, which the protocol now is. So immediately they went back to Stormont, they went back as protocol implementers. And the protocol they are implementing is that which not only partitions our United Kingdom, but subjects us to laws we don't make and can't change, and laws that don't apply anywhere else in the United Kingdom. And we now have the appalling situation where this supposed integral part of the United Kingdom is no longer any such thing. We are now, in constitutional terms, a condominium ruled in part by British laws and in part by foreign laws. That is what the DUP, tragically, has come to terms with, and are now implementing and upholding. Oh yes, they told us something very different. Remember what Sir Geoffrey said? 0 checks, 0 paperwork, 0 truth. Still 6,000 checks a month on goods in terms of paperwork, 6,000 checks a month on the seals on the lorries, 6,000 checks a month on the contents. We patently still have, in all its ugly reality, that pernicious Irish sea border. And where do you have customs checks, ladies and gentlemen? You have them when you're moving from one sovereign territory to another. And that is the evil content of the protocol. Because it decrees that when you move goods from Great Britain into Northern Ireland, you are moving them from a third or foreign country. And decrees that by putting us under the EU's customs code. And it operates on the basis that if you're not a member of the EU, then you are a third or a foreign country. And therefore your goods must be checked coming into EU territory, which the protocol decrees us to be. Think of it, a part of the United Kingdom, so-called, which by law is now decreed to be EU territory. And therefore goods coming from our own country are treated as coming from a foreign country. You might as well be bringing goods from Bolivia as from Britain in terms of the protocol. That tragic is what now other unionists are accepting and implementing. Shame indeed. And then some of them would dare to say, don't divide unionism. Let me be very clear with you, ladies and gentlemen. The people on this platform are not the dividers of unionism. We are standing where we are. Who are the dividers of unionism? Those who shredded, tore up the united, agreed unionist position on the protocol. On the 28th of September 2021, every unionist leader signed a solemn pledge. It decreed, in its words, an unalterable position of opposition to the protocol. That's still, having signed that, where I stand tonight. But it is those who have disavowed that, it is those who shredded that, who are the dividers of unionism, and I will not carry their guilt in that respect. convinced that there are tens of thousands of unionists in this province who still stand where their unionist leaders did stand in that declaration. I believe that those unionists must have the opportunity in the forthcoming election to have their say. And that is why there will be TUV Reform UK candidates standing apart from the crowd of protocol implementers. And as we go forward in the spirit of reunifying our United Kingdom. Isn't it a shocking situation where unionists who've listened to the propaganda about the unification of Ireland for decades now are in a position where what is required is the reunification of the United Kingdom? That is what I and Ben Habib and those of us together are about. We're about reunifying the United Kingdom. And what does that look like? It looks like no border in the Irish Sea. It looks like no EU law. Unless and until those fundamentals are attained. And as Anne said, it won't be overnight. Unless and until those are attained, then we are not and would not be a full and integral part of the United Kingdom. Let's not forget this, ladies and gentlemen. The protocol just isn't about punishing the United Kingdom for leaving the EU by sacrificing Northern Ireland. Oh no, it's about something much more political than that. It is in fact about the unification of Ireland. Yeah. What would a united Ireland and all Ireland look like? Well, in so many ways, you could speculate. But one of the things that would denote an all Ireland is that you and I are ruled by the same laws as those in the Irish Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, under the protocol, we already are. Because those 300 EU laws that are annexed to the protocol that shape and dictate our goods economy, that control our agri-food industry, that control much of our environmental law, they are the identical laws that govern those same subjects in the Irish Republic. Because they're in the EU and we have been subject to their EU laws. That, of course, is about the ultimate political goal of unifying Ireland. It's about creating an all-Ireland economically as a stepping stone. Look at the EU itself. It didn't start out as a superstructure such as it is now. It started out as a common market, but then it had to get a single market. Then it had to get a single customs zone. And when it had that, then it had to bolt it on the political side. A parliament of its own, a president of its own, a civil servant of its own. Built itself on economic unity. That is the evil genius of the protocol. Build an all-Ireland through economic fusion, through creating the same economic unit on the island of Ireland, and meanwhile aid the process by GB diverging as it will and is, so that Northern Ireland is left trading, looking, doing business, a north-south basis rather than its east-west basis. And that is the intent and the template of the protocol. That is its ultimate objective. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, its greatest cheerleaders are Sinn Féin. Why? Because the protocol achieved what the IRA failed to achieve. It pushed the border to the Irish Sea. Never forget that. That is the mark of the protocol's achievement. Did what terrorism couldn't do. Push the border to the Irish Sea. That is shocking and a sobering reality. That is something that I, for one, do not intend to come to terms with. Gavin Robertson and the rest of them can dress it up and pretend that they're not coming to terms with it, but that's the very territory they're on. Gavin, whose fingerprints are all over the Donaldson deal, that's what he signed up to. Today there was a meeting between the EU and United Kingdom civil servants. They issued a statement after, and they said, we reaffirmed our commitment to the full and complete implementation of the framework or the protocol in all its parts. In all its parts. And then Gavin Robinson and the DUP tell us our place has been restored within the United Kingdom, that the Irish Sea border is gone. Well, now in fact they say, well, going. Not gone. It will go. We're working on it, bit by bit. You believe a word of it? It is ensconced in word and in deed in the protocol. Those of us who care about the Union need to be exercised about all of that. You know, for far too long, unionism in Northern Ireland has been far too parochial. In fact, the very rejection of Englishmen coming to Dromore is a manifestation of the poison of that nationalism. I'm glad that TUV, through its alignment with reform, is now linked to a national growing party across the United Kingdom, and that we can build a pan-unionism for the Union across the Union. Nationalism can have a pan approach to building Irish unity. Why can't unionism have a pan approach to I'd much rather that those who once stood in this platform joined us in that cause. But if they're not prepared to join us, we're prepared to do it on our own.